Fundamental piece of your go-to-market are your differentiators. Bottom line is, you're probably not that different. Sorry. Good morning, everybody. Today, Ruby and I are talking about the fact that in my last video, I started talking about the impact of overpaying for awareness, which is anybody with a heartbeat and breath in their lungs becomes a prospect or a target or an ICP or a customer or whatever you want to call them. And that's not real world. That is fairy tale land. But companies are paying real hard dollars to talk to people that they shouldn't. So they're starting there. Second piece of this is, let's just for argument's sake say you are talking to the people you should be talking to. What are you saying to them? So this is a sales conversation, this is a marketing conversation, and my suggestion is, and this is what I ask every team to go and take a good, hard, long look at, is, are we exactly like everybody else, plus or minus 5%, or 10%, or hey, 20%? That's not a differentiator. That's just being slightly better than somebody else. It's something that you guys already do. Not where you want to be. So differentiators need to be true differentiators. Your go-to-market should be materially different than everybody else in your space. If you're saying the same things, plus or minus 20%, if you're doing the same things, plus or minus 20%, then that's your lens. You are doing everything that somebody else is doing, just hopefully better. That's not a differentiated go-to-market. Differentiated go-to-market is being wholly different than what your competitors are doing or what the market thinks about, based upon the reality of the market your customers are in. So here's what happens. I'm buying a piece of software, I'm buying a tool, I'm buying a product. I go to look at stuff and everybody hits me with the same message, whether that's faster, cheaper, better, whatever. So that's not what you want to start the conversation at, because that belies that I'm ready to buy something today and I'm just maybe snooping around. And so what you want to hit me with are the things that are truly standing out from you as a company. What are the things that make you become different in my mind? And usually that has something to do with the fact that you're saying something about the market that I'm in that tells me something new. It educates me about something I didn't know. It gives me a hot take that is absolutely, I'll say absolutely, on the other spectrum of what everybody else is saying. And so if everybody else is going right, you go left. If everybody else is vanilla, you become chocolate. This is the thing that a lot of companies don't really understand. And it's hard out there for sales and marketing right now. And if we're just saying the same things, plus or minus 20%, that is noise. There is no value in that whatsoever. I'll choose you, I'll choose somebody else. It'll go one way, it'll go another way. Like that is, whether I'm sitting across from a sales rep and they're saying the same thing as the rep that just came before them, but the price is cheaper. Okay, maybe I listen. Like really got to think about that in terms of where you are at your go-to-market. So structurally, what is it that you want people to understand about you? But what do you want people to understand about the market that they're in? And how do they solve the problems that you're solving? What are the things that you need to see? And so truly, how do you make a difference? And this is the hard part. A lot of companies don't have anything to say. They're just literally plus or minus 10 or 20%, but they're the same. It's really the same. And then they're shocked when the only differentiator becomes price. So what do you have to do? So this is a call to action. Sit down with your teams and think about the problems that your customers are trying to solve and have maybe a slightly controversial take on some of that. Here's something, customer, that you're thinking about, and here's what we think about that. And here's why that's going to be important for you going forward. Again, you're trying to create demand. So if you're paying for this in one way or another, sales rep sitting across the table from a prospect, putting money into some marketing program, like this is what you have to think very holistically about as you move forward. And if you're not different, you need to go back and look at your brand and your business model. Like, now is not the time in this market with this economic conditions to be the plus or minus 10%. Everybody's going to go 10% cheaper, irrespective of what you offer. So again, go back and look at my previous video, because I think there's a lot of value in understanding why awareness building is so expensive right now for companies. And that is where a lot of budgets are going. And that's a tough one. That's a tough one right now, especially when you can get them past the awareness phase at a reasonable price point and get them into evaluation and consideration based upon how you're different, what you're doing, how you're doing it, why us, what we think. Here's what you need to understand, customer, about our market. So give yourself some airtime to do that. That's a strategic planning exercise that I think everybody needs to do. That's a look in the mirror and what are we trying to accomplish model. So for today, think about that. Ruby says, don't be same, not good. Same, bad. Understand more about how you're going to take this opportunity and advantage that you might have in your market space and really pump some air in those tires. Hey, if you're thinking that this is content that somebody might be interested in, I'm asking people to share the content. I'm not selling anything. There's nothing to be sold. It's just, is it a thought-provoking thing that you would want to consider as a business? Anyway, enough for today. Walking and talking with Ruby.